Welcome back students. In the previous lecture we have gone through the Maxwell's equation, how to solve the Maxwell's equation, and how the electric fields and magnetic fields are interrelated by those four Maxwell's equation. We have understood Maxwell's equation for static field, dynamic field, and even for different dielectric mediums. Today it's a point to discuss power and Poynting theorem. See, this is very important point in the examination point of view. Almost you take any question paper from university, you won't find any question paper without this particular power and Poynting theorem. See, one important point about this particular subject, power and Poynting theorem can be asked under 6th unit also or under 4th unit also. It depends on where examiner would wish to ask, but the derivation remains 100% same. Basically what power and Poynting theorem is and how it has related electric fields and magnetic field, that we are going to discuss. But see, this derivation is important in the examination point of view and you should not forget to remember it. One more thing is that I am going to provide you with the PDF of all these notes which I have prepared, so that it becomes easier for you to understand and easier for you to remember all those things. So I have taken a snapshot from my notes only, where we will have a discussion on power and Poynting theorem. So let's start a discussion about power and Poynting theorem, what exactly it is. See, first of all I will read the statement and I will tell you what exactly it is telling. The net power flowing out of a given volume V is equal to the time rate of decrease in the energy stored within minus ohmic losses. So what is the power carried by electromagnetic wave? Whenever I am saying electromagnetic wave, it means it's a combination of electrostatic and magnetostatic and time varying electrostatic and magnetostatic. Okay, so if I am talking about any electromagnetic wave which is passing through this any closed shape or closed volume, you take a shape of any irregular one or regular one, this law remains true for any of those cases. Now what exactly it is saying? It is saying that the net power, let's say this is power input, so EM power in, so I will write it here as, instead of power in, it is EM power in. So power and Poynting theorem is telling about electromagnetic power which is flowing through any closed volume. Okay, so if this is electromagnetic power which is going inside, then there must be some ohmic losses, because it will come in contact with these conductors, as well as the capacitance will be formed between those conducting plates. So stored electrical energy, let's say this electromagnetic power will be replicated as time rate of decrease of the energy, so energy will be stored, and that is the reason why whenever the mobile tower radiates certain energy, at certain point of time you observe that your range is won't coming. That's what must be the reason. The reason is nothing but the power which is being radiated from the source to the point where you are standing right now, where you are not getting the range, the power is getting decreased. Why power is getting decreased? Why you are not getting the same power which was radiated by mobile tower? It is because of those ohmic losses, and it is also responsible for time rate of decrease in the energy. Okay, so the energy stored in this, let's take an example, those electromagnetic radiations are coming in your home through the windows, through the doors which are made up of metallic material, so definitely some amount of energy will be lost there and you are getting remaining amount of energy, and that's hazardous too. That's not the point which we are going to discuss right now. But so what are the losses that we are coming across? Let's say the losses will be in terms of stored electrical energy. So this stored electrical energy means we have positively charged particle, negatively charged particles, so there will be electric field associated with it. There is also conductors through which the circulating current start flowing, and once circulating current start flowing, there will be a magnetostatic energy stored in it. Okay, so if this is the case, along with those energy stored in this volume, we also take into account the ohmic losses which it will come across whenever, I will read the statement once again, the net power flowing out of a given volume V is equal to the time rate of decrease in the energy stored within a volume V minus ohmic losses. Okay, so power in minus these ohmic losses, and we will get a power out from this closed volume. Let's try to understand the basic of this through certain equations. Now according to the Maxwell's equation, first Maxwell's equation, we have del cross E bar is equal to minus dou B bar by dou T, you know. So B bar we can write it as mu into H bar, so it will come out to be minus mu dou H bar by dou T. Let's call this as equation number 1. And the second Maxwell's equation, we can write del cross H bar as sigma A bar. See, this is JC bar or conduction current density that we already know, and this is displacement current density JD bar. So JD bar we can write it as epsilon dou E bar by dou T. That is, it's dou D bar by dou T. We can write D bar as epsilon E bar. Now if we have those two equations with me, two Maxwell's equation, let's do certain vector operations on it in order to get to that power and Poynting theorem. So taking dot product on both sides of equation number 1, if I taking dot product on this case, so E bar dot del cross H bar, see, I am taking dot product with del. So taking dot product of equation number 2 with E bar, if I multiply this with the dot product E bar, so it will be E bar dot with del cross H bar is equal to sigma E bar dot E bar plus sigma dou by dou T E bar dot E bar. So I can write it here, E bar dot E bar. So I am having certain this equation, so I can write it as E bar dot del cross H bar is equal to, this is E bar, don't forget about this, there might be confusing you are creating. So E bar dot del cross H bar is equal to sigma E bar dot E bar, you already know the dot product between two vector entities will give us a square of that particular vector field. So sigma E square plus E bar dot epsilon dou E bar by dou T. Let's call this as equation number 2, and then we'll try to solve this as dou E bar dou by dou T of E bar dot E bar. Right now just try to understand here. Now using the vector identity, what we get, see, so this is not the thing, you should not consider this for timing, okay. Using a vector identity, del dot A bar cross B bar is equal to B bar dot del cross A bar minus A bar dot del cross B bar. So see, it is a divergence of a curl, so divergence of this cross product, it's not a curl, so divergence of this cross product A bar cross B bar, we can take this third vector B bar into B bar dot del cross A bar minus A bar, that's the middle vector, into del cross B bar. So if that is so, I am having this E bar dot del cross H bar. So see, if I assume this E bar as del cross H bar in certain direction, or if you put those things del cross E bar cross H bar, you will get those equations. So H bar dot del cross E bar minus del dot E bar cross H bar. So I have just taken this minus sign. So this, if I take it on this side, I will get E bar dot del cross H bar. Okay, so you have to just put del dot E bar cross B bar as E bar cross H bar, and you will finally come to the conclusion that H bar dot del cross E bar minus del dot E bar cross H bar is equal to sigma E square. I have just replaced the LHS, that is this LHS, I will use a blue color marker. This LHS I have replaced on by using this vector identity on the left hand side. So H bar dot del cross E bar minus del dot E bar cross H bar is equal to sigma E square plus E bar dot epsilon dou E bar by dou T. This is our equation number 4. You just try to put, for getting this equation, you just put, instead of A bar you put E bar, and instead of B bar you put H bar, you will finally come to this particular conclusion. Now we need to simplify further. Derivative of the product. So dou by dou T of E bar dot E bar is equal to E bar into first function as it is, derivative of the second, dou E bar by dou T, plus second as it is, derivative of the first. Since it is a multiplication of two same vectors, I will get 2 times E bar into dou E bar by dou T is equal to dou E square by dou T. If I get it, I can take this 2 to the denominator, and I will get E bar dot dou E bar by dou T is equal to half of dou E square by dou T. So this is equation number 5. Now I am going to put the value of E bar dot dou E bar by dou T is equal to half dou E square by dou T from equation number 5 and equation number 4. What is our equation number 4? Our equation number 4 is something like this. So H bar dot del cross E bar minus del dot E bar cross H bar is equal to sigma E square plus E bar dot epsilon dou E bar by dou T. So epsilon I can take it outside since it is a constant, and E bar dot dou E bar by dou T, which I have got from equation number 5, I will try to put it in equation number 4 to get the final expression. So we will stop here, and in the next video I will continue from equation number 5 onwards, and we will complete this power and Poynting theorem and what exactly it is saying. From mathematically we will try to see, and whether the statement what power and Poynting theorem has made, it is satisfying with the mathematical condition, that we will try to see. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much and happy learning.